Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome back to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Ultra Magnus, which is Earth Mode Ultra Magnus. But a lot of you probably already knew that. Thank you for watching my videos. If you like what you see, or even if you don't, please comment below. Just remember to be constructive in your criticisms so that it helps me to improve this channel. Like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews. And don't forget to ding that bell so that when my content drops, you will be notified. And with all that said, let's get into it. And now, as we usually do here on Digital Caveman Presents, let's take a look at the packaging. Pretty standard Kingdom packaging that we are all familiar with at this point. Ultra Magnus, Takara Generations, Transformers Hasbro 8+, Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom, and the nice artwork of Ultra Magnus, which does, I don't know where that glare's coming from. Anyway, does wrap around to this side. He is leader class, and the background of this artwork is what we have come to expect and know of Kingdom. On this side, the Kingdom artwork, authentic. Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom. On the top, cave painting Autobot symbols, some of the golden disc stuff, an eerie glow. And on the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, authentic, recycled. And on the back, we have, he changes from this to this in 21 steps, and 12 steps, 16 steps, a lot of steps. Ultra Magnus, nice product shots, small fine print, legalese, form print, Hasbro barcode, symbols that I don't know, made in Vietnam, and most importantly, don't put things in your pie hole unless it's pie. And on the inside of the packaging, if I remember where I opened it at. Where did I open this thing at? My goodness. Well, I know I opened this box because I got Ultra Magnus out of it. And what do we have in here? Instructions. And that piece of crap. And the insert, which we're all familiar with at this point. And let's see which card is in it. I'm willing to bet it's not Ultra Magnus. And it's not. Oops. Sorry. It's Optimus Prime. I don't have that one, so hey, okay. Still don't know why they pack these damn things in at random. Excuse me, darn things. Dang things. And with the foil off. All right, there's that. And let's take a quick look at the instructions. Not the same color has been showing up, I don't think. But nicely illustrated. Fairly clear. You don't really need these if you have the Siege Ultra Magnus. But there it is. And that does it for the packaging. Now let's take a look at Kingdom Ultra Magnus in his alt mode, which is a car carrying truck that won't carry any cars. Little disappointing, although I shouldn't be. I knew kind of what I was expecting from having the Siege one. However, I was not expecting this much visible hand-arm syndrome. I don't know why. We'll get into that in transformation about the hands. But there they are. They're big, glaring, in-your-face. Can't ignore it. It's there. And most of this trailer is the same as Siege, with a little bit of rework, retooling here and there. From the front view, it's not too bad, except mine's not completely lined up there at the grill. But nice Autobot symbol. The see-through windows there. It's not too bad. It's not really a whole bunch you can see in there. His head. And that's about it. But it is what it is. But then they opted to just do regular plastic on the side. So, you know, a little bit of uniformity would have been nice. But there it is. And as you can see on the inside, some visible head syndrome there. And how he looks from the back, you can still see the feet and angled and nothing there, no. But anyway, that's that. The tires are new. I like the tires, except for these front ones. They don't match the rest of it. Are they supposed to? I don't know. I never paid that much attention to trucks on the road to see if these and these match. I don't know if they do or not. Probably not. I'm guessing. I don't know. One of these days I'm going to look at it and pay attention. Probably not. And that does it for a look at vehicle mode. Now we're going to take a look at some vehicle mode comparisons. Alternate universe, aka Dead Optimus Prime. Leader class. And as you can see, Ultra Magnus's cab is a bit bigger than Optimus Prime's. And then I'm bumping the camera. Let's see how it looks with the trailer. Even Optimus Prime with the trailer is still a bit shorter than this Ultra Magnus. Sorry. Here we have, with me as always, Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee. And as you can see, he's quite a bit smaller. then Ultra Magnus, and here he is with Siege Ultra Magnus. And as you can see, most of the change is right here. And again, this one is just a bit shorter. Not by a whole lot, but he is just a bit shorter than the Earthrise, and it's because the trailer on this one hooks closer up to the cab than this one. And lastly, we will compare him with Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. And you can see, I think this cab looks a little more realistic than this one, and it is quite a bit larger. However, for those of you who have this one, you know the cab does not come apart from the trailer. It's all one piece, even though the cab will turn independent. But it is still permanently attached unless you get there's a kit you can get for it. And the Kingdom is still just a bit longer. But at least this Ultra Magnus can carry cars. Alrighty, that does it for comparisons. And now, folks, we come to the comedy portion of our show where I attempt to transform this guy on screen. And let's get started. And as any of you who have the Siege version already know, there is a lot of parts forming. So first of all, we'll take those parts off. Then you want to lift this up, undo the trailer. First this side, at least, maybe. Well, it's hung in there pretty good. But as you can see, you got this tab that clips into here. There we go, finally. And same thing on this side, and that was a lot easier. These pieces fell off. They do connect together right there. And they connect on this piece right here that's supposed to be like that. Alright, there's some more parts out of the way. And then you pull these things off. And then you untab right here and here. And there's also tabs here and here. I got that one in there good. Alright. And then you want to watch out, it's tabbed in here, here, and here. So just be careful when separating that part. All right, there's all that. We don't need that right now, because we're going to take a look at this part. First of all, swing the legs down. Flip out the heel spurs if you can. And you want to, dang it, you want to pull the arms out like this, and you can see there's a tab here and a slot here, and that's where they tab in at. With the fists, just rotate them back around. Then you want to take your thumbs and push in. You want to push against this so this all comes back. And then you spin it around at the waist. Then get in there, you. You want to separate the front piece of the cab and flip the head up. And then the arms will tab into place. There's a slot and the tab. And does that on both sides. And separate it there. And there is the core of Ultra Magnus. Now, in order to continue transforming him into the armored up version, untab the arms. And you want to pull the front of the cab out again and flip his head back in. And the arms tab right back in the same place. And you can see his big truck booty right there. Flip the heel spurs in. All right, let's set him right there. We'll get back to him in just a minute. Let's start with the feet. Flip that part in. Flip all of that in. And turn it like that so it makes an L shape. As you can see, there's a tab and a slot right there and right here. And see if I can get it to go in there. There we go. All right, that leg. Then you get the other leg piece and you do the same thing. This is already flipped in. Flip that in. Make the L. Fold over and tab into place. Then you take the core bot, and as you can see, it's pretty much shaped like his foot in there, so you just slide his foot right on in, and the same thing on the other side. There we go with that. Then the forearm pieces, you open them up. And you can see there is a peg right there and a hole in his arm. Just slide that over and it pegs in, and then close it back up. And the same thing with the other side. All right, then we have this piece. You want to fold this in, and you want to fold that up, and you'll hear it click into place. And on the back, it has these two clips here, and they will clip on this rail. There we go, clipped in. And you push this down, and it has tabs. Dang it, he's too tall. Have a tab right there, and it goes in this slot right here on the top of the arms to hold them in place. Then you want to continue folding this down, and it has tabs right here, and there's the slots for it right there on both sides. And it just tabs into place there. But wait, there's more. We have these two pieces. You want to flip that in. You want to do it on both of them. You want to take, with these gray pieces, you want them facing in the back. And this just kind of snaps on there. And the same on the other side. And there we have Ultra Magnus, almost in robot mode. Cannot forget the missiles. And his big rifle thingy. There you go. Ultra Magnus in robot mode. And now let's take a look at his big robot mode. And I did forget one step in the transformation. You pull this forward, flip it around, and then put it back into place. Now he's in robot mode completely, yeah. So first of all, he does have a light pipe, pip, whatever you want to call it. And here's my handy dandy pin light. So we can light them up, see? There it goes. Light up eyes for Ultra Magnus. But just this mode, not the core bot. And overall, he looks okay. In this mode, he pretty much looks like you would expect Ultra Magnus to look in his G1 form. In this mode, the truck booty doesn't stick out quite as much, but it's still there. And look, Autobot, butt flap. There's a look. The sculpt on it is decent. Again, he looks like he's supposed to look in this mode. It's just not as good as I would have liked it to have been. Well, the face sculpt is pretty nice. Very G1. And again, the translucent plates there. And he's got his missile launchers and his rifle. He's blue and white with some red. No battle damage on this one, thank goodness. I was getting a little tired of that stuff from Siege carried over. They toned it way down in the Earthrise stuff, I'm sure you all know. And now it seems to be completely gone. But anyway, let's take his rifle out of his hand and take a look at his articulation. His head will look up that far and down that far. And he does have a little bit of waggle. Nice. It will go 360 degrees all the way around, and then he will spew pea soup on you. Arms. They will go all the way around. Out that far. Does have a swivel right here. I was going to say knee bend, but elbow bend at 90 degrees. No waist rotation, because it's kind of locked in here. Legs. Let me see, how far will the legs go? There you go. He can go all the way. The legs apart. Kicks up that high. Kicks back that far. You can see his truck booty, and this big leg piece gets in the way. He does have a ratchet in there. You can hear it. Pretty good ratchet. Swivel right there. And he'll have to kick forward to see his knee bend, which is not quite 90 degrees. The back of his leg and this armored piece, if that's what you want to call it, kind of gets in the way. And he has 0, nothing, nada at the feet. And we'll put his gun back in his hand. No, we won't. You know what we're going to do? We're going to pull some of this armored stuff off of him, and we're going to look at the core bot. Ah, Ratchet, save me! And the armor pieces, if that's what you want to call them, they pop off just like they popped on. This one can be a little cantankerous sometimes to get loose. But in the end, it does come loose. And then just slide the leg pieces off. And flip the heel spurs out. I don't know, some of you are saying, why didn't you do this when you had him in that mode in the first place? Because I'm dumb. And I didn't think about it. Again, you want to separate. Pull that forward. Flip the head up. Put the cab back into place. It does have a tab and a slot. And there you go. And the most important part that I almost forgot again. Got to flip that belt around. And there he is. Let's take a look at what you can do with the weapons. Of course, he can lower this down some now that he's not so tall, I guess. He can hold his rifle What can you do with these? They won't go up in his shoulders. Maybe they'll fit in these holes on his forearm. So, all right. And no, I just thought about that. I didn't do it beforehand. So, there. So, he can have all of his weapons there. And he is Ultra Magnus colors. Nice Autobot symbol there. And from this side, he looks pretty good. But as you start to move him around, you start seeing the issue. That big honking truck butt. All right, let's talk about articulation. Raise that back up just a little bit. He can look down that far, up that far. He does have some waggle. Will spin all the way around. Arm all the way around. Comes out better than 90 degrees. And bicep rotation right there. Elbow. 90 degrees. And I forgot to mention the other mode. It's kind of hard to get to it. But he does have wrist rotation. And it's the same on the other arm. Waist. He does have rotation in this mode. So he does have waist rotation in his core mode. Let's see. Legs. All the way, almost. And he can kick up that high, but his belt comes undone. He can kick back that far. And he does have rotation at the thigh. Knee bend. Not quite 90 degrees. Almost, not quite. And as far as the foot goes, his spur went back in. No up and down, but he does have some tilt. All right. That covers his robot modes. Modes, plural. And now let's take a look at comparisons. And first up, I know I didn't do him first up last time during vehicle stuff, but there he is. Titans. Excuse me. Titans returns Legends class Bumblebee. Netflix Earthrise Optimus Prime. As you can see, he is just a tad bit taller. Prime is just a tad bit taller than the Ultra Magnus Core Bot. And here is Siege Core Bot. As you can see, he has the battle damage, paint chipping, whatever you want to call it. And he's not quite as white as this guy. This one is like a really bright white, and he's a little off-white. And you can see there is a difference in the head sculpts. And of course, the cab parts. Everything else looks to be the same except for the truck booty. Cybertron Earthrise. Or Kingdom Earth Mode. Earth Mode. And even though he does not have a core bot mode, here is the Combiner Wars. I keep saying Combiner Wars. It's off the Combiner Wars mold, but this Ultra Magnus is actually the one that came in the anniversary Transformers the Movie Anniversary Pack with Blur and Cup and RC. And he does not want to stand upright. But there they are. You can see he's quite a bit taller. And now that I've got him all back together, let's continue with the comparisons. Titans returns Legends class Bumblebee. Netflix Earthrise Leader class Optimus Prime. Leader class Siege Ultra Magnus. And we'll talk about the differences real quick. As you can see all up in here, the head sculpts are different. Siege Magnus, because of his shoulder pauldrons, is pauldrons. His giant shoulder, whatever they are, pillars. His shoulder pillars are quite a bit. It gives him a little bit of a height difference. And no, I do not have the add-on kit that makes him taller. I don't have that. It's not a factor here. The missile launchers, you can see the Earthrise Kingdom version is different. It doesn't have quite as much detail in it as the Siege one. The rifles appear to be the same, just slightly different shades. And of course, no battle damage for Kingdom. And lastly, Combiner Wars or 30th anniversary Combiner Wars mold. Leader class Ultra Magnus, and he is quite a bit taller, as you can see there. And a bit of a much different aesthetic, seeing as how this is based off of the IDW comics, or old continuity, at least. And that does it for comparisons. And now for final thoughts on Leader Class Kingdom Ultra Magnus. The light pip for the eyes was it's a nice addition. It's a good thing to have. If you have the Siege Ultra Magnus and you're just not super set on having the more cartoon, G1 cartoon looking Earth mode of Ultra Magnus, this is a complete skip. I was hoping that they would take the opportunity to make some improvements on this mold, and they really didn't. They did a little bit of retooling here and there, but for the most part, this one is, I won't say I was disappointed in the Siege version, but I was really looking forward to an Earth mode version of Ultra Magnus, and this one just doesn't do it for me. I mean, in robot mode, he looks okay. In his alt mode, he does not shine at all. I like Ultra Magnus. In fact, he was one of my favorite G1 toys to play with, because he could be White Optimus Prime or Ultra Magnus, you know, depending on how you like to play. I do appreciate that they made the attempt, but I really wish they would have made further improvements on this mold to make the Earthrise, there I go saying Earthrise again, to make this Kingdom in his Earth mode more palatable, I guess you could say. Those hands and arms in the alt mode just really kill this figure. Now, if you don't really give a crap about the alt mode, he is, you know, it's a good figure in its robot mode. You know, there were some improvements they could have made. Like, they could have given him an Autobot symbol at least on here. The only Autobot symbol he has on him in this mode is bum 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 on his bum. But, you know, that kind of problem is easily rectified with a decal. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me on this Ultra Magnus down in the comments. And please leave a comment if you liked the video. Even if you didn't, just remember to be constructive so that it helps me improve the channel. Like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews. And don't forget to ding that bell so that at some point in the future you will be notified of new content from me. And with all that said, I'll see you next time.